Rebel Yell Podcast, Triple Live High School Sports Network, here to salute our Week 11 Team of the Week. Although I'm sure Matt Miller, head coach of the McKeesport Tigers, would appreciate if they were the Week 12 Team of the Week, because then that would be good news for next week. They're headed to the WPIAL 4A Championship for a third straight year, looking for that elusive gold medal. Big win over Thomas Jefferson in the semifinals gets them to Pine Richland in the finals on Saturday. Coach Miller, appreciate you joining us, and congratulations on another successful season.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
What defines, when all is said and done, because different folks, different strokes, what in your mind, this is year 10 now for you at McKeesport, defines a successful season? Is it wins, losses, championships, or does it go a lot deeper?
I think you get judged on your how many wins you have, but I think a championship really would hanging on there as being a really good year. I think making it to the championship after what we've done for the last couple of years is what we hope to happen. But I think to really be considered a good year for us would be to win one, get over the hump, and win one.
Do you concern yourself with what anybody thinks outside of the locker room, or are you pretty good at shutting out the noise?
I'm pretty good at shutting out the noise. I mean, obviously it affects you and bothers you or whatever, but you're human. But I really, you got to really be concerned with the 50, 60 guys that are in your locker room. They're the only ones that really matter. They're the ones that are going through it with you, and deep down, whenever every decision I make is for the betterment of them.
Coach, you beat on Friday in the semifinals. Bill Chirpak told me once, and he's had so much success, that he enjoys. He doesn't compare, teams or championships, because he said every journey is different. How has this journey with this group to the finals differed from the 2023 and 2024 teams?
I guess just how we started off, with injuries, we had really high expectations. Then we had a lot of injuries. We had to fight through those. And kind of that part of it, but really a together group. I mean, these kids are really playing for each other. Not that the other ones weren't, but just a little bit of a different vibe in the locker room. But like I said, he said it, best. Every journey's different. But this one's kind of unique. I know a lot of these kids a little bit better, with my son growing up with most of them.
Right.
Those guys show up at the house and things like that. They kind of know me a little bit more than maybe the other teams had.
You got a special talent, and he's only a junior, Keemon Spell. Everybody's familiar with the name now. We'll talk about the game, but he became, in that victory over Thomas Jefferson, the all-time leading rusher in McKeesport history. And I didn't realize he was that close to setting the mark as a junior. Again, I cut my teeth as a young reporter following the McKeesport Tigers, and the litany of names that have, whether they're running backs or quarterbacks, that have had just uber success in a Tigers uniform. For him to do this in 3 years is kind of mind-boggling.
It really is, because he missed 4 games earlier this season.
Right.
He had gone through a little bit of injuries last year, early in the year. He was playing through them. So he didn't carry the ball a ton his freshman year. So what he was able to accomplish in such a short time, he's only 16 years old, and he doesn't turn 17 until April. So I mean, this kid is he's still a kid, and it's amazing what he can actually grow to become.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point too. He and watching some of the highlights of the victory over the Jaguars, that doesn't appear that he is having any lingering effects from said injury. He looks like he's in great shape.
Yeah, he's back to 100%. We weren't hiding that at all. He had a really severe high ankle sprain. We were able to get him into some good orthotics and stuff to give him a little bit more support. And then about the second or third week after being back, he was kind of himself again.
What was were there fears that the injury would last longer than it actually did? Because those high ankle sprains can be tricky.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely our fear. We wanted to make sure he was 100%. He felt like he was really good going into the first time we played Thomas Jefferson. He thought, man, I can be back. He ran the ball 3 times and got twisted up again. And then he was out for another, week or two.
Right.
So, yeah, we really said, hey, let's just make sure he gets healed up. But, you see things online and stuff that he was pulling himself out. I mean, we were doing everything in our power to get him back in. And, he's a warrior. He would have played if he could, but we saw bigger games down the road too.
Total package he is. What sets him apart? You've seen your fair share of talent as well, going back to your playing days. What sets him apart, and puts him in a special place?
I think the moment, when he gets in when the lights turn on, he loves it. He loves the attention. He loves the pressure. As you see a lot of times people, the crowds will affect them. It'll get them distracted. He actually thrives with it.
Yeah.
It's like it's like traveling with the Beatles. There's kids and adults. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, there's kids last night from Ohio drove just to watch him play, and then they come and they yell and scream and for pictures. And I mean, it's a distraction for me, but he loves it. He thrives in it, and he goes out and plays his best ball when it happens.
Obviously hasn't been distracted about the fact that he had committed to Penn State, decommitted when Coach Franklin was let go, as did several other high profile players in the area. That can be a distraction because, as we talked about before we started, just inundated phone calls, visits, emails, texts, everything involved in all that. But it seems that he is still focused on the goal.
Yeah, his parents do a great job. His dad deals with a lot of the recruiting, takes a lot of it off of him because he's a good, humble kid. He feels obligated to talk to everyone, and I think his dad's able to really deflect some of that attention
Good.
and get the meat and potatoes of what's going on with the recruiting process as well. But I think really his support groups and staff and everybody around him has done a really good job for him.
Yeah, we had him on last year. Well spoken young man, and the kind of kid that's really easy to root for. Um, what do you can include this aspect, but again, there's so much talent has come out of your program in your decade as head coach. What is your role when it comes to recruiting? Do you give advice when asked? Do you offer to help, or do you just sit back and, hey, if they want me to help, then they'll I'll wait for them to ask.
I try at the front of it. We're more getting the introductions. Hey, this kid, you should look at him. This thing and that. But when it comes down to it, you offer assistance, offer help. Sometimes people want it. Sometimes families
Right.
and have their own ideas and their own desires. But most of the time you're just kind of sitting there. Hey, I'll help if you need it or advice if you want it. Sometimes they take it. Sometimes they don't.
You're wearing a different hat when it comes to your son, I'm sure. Your son Matt is the starting quarterback and has been a big part of the success of this Tiger squad, and even going back to last year. How has that process worked? Is he's what are his plans for post 2026?
Well, first off, it's been going great. It's going great for me. I'm harder on him than I'm on anybody else. I mean, some of those kids probably think we have a terrible relationship because I'm really hard on him, and I've always have been when it comes to sports. He knows it, but he's also really great for me because on the field, I get very angry, very upset. He kind of lets me go, and all right, Dad, we need to get the play in. So he knows how to deal with me, and me with him. I know how he ticks. I know if I getting on him a little bit, it gets him a little bit motivated and locked in. But everything's great with us. It's been probably the most fun I've had being able to be a part of his high school career. Has been something that was a dream come true. But for him next year, he's looking at playing college ball. He's going to go to one of the Pac schools, playing the President's Conference. Probably got he's going to play defense. His quarterback days are limited. Maybe hopefully another 4 more weeks, and then he'll get back on the defensive side of the ball.
Does he know what he wants to get into as far as his studies?
Yeah, he wants to teach and coach.
Uh,
So he said that the life we have here, I was always around for him and being able to be at a bunch of games, and for my daughters as well. And he just thinks that's the time is really great, and then also being involved with coaching. He really wants to get involved with that after he gets done playing.
color me stunned when you said that you get mad and angry and you're yelling on the field. I've always looked at you as a big cuddly bear on the sidelines. I guess I'm wrong, huh?
Yeah, no, I'll take that. I'll take whatever you can. Uh, I've never been described that way, so I'll take that one. It seems a little more positive than the ones I
Right.
usually get.
Yeah. Why not? Right. Um, so you get the rematch of a game earlier this year, the game you talked about with when Spell got hurt, had to leave the game. You lose to Thomas Jefferson 16-7. You played the Jaguars in the championship game a year ago. So both teams very familiar with each other. So had to be pretty nice getting out to that early lead.
Yeah, it definitely was. We were able to make a couple big plays. I mean, obviously, you don't plan on a 98-yard run, out of that type of situation, but that's the joy of having somebody that's a home run hitter. I mean, he breaks one tackle and he's off to the races. Not many people can track him down.
Yeah. 28-3, Thomas Jefferson falls to McKeesport. The Jaguars seem to right the. I mean, I know they've been banged up, but they seem to right the ship down the stretch and into the quarterfinals last week. It seemed like the Jaguars of old, where they just ground and pound. But your defense obviously did a heck of a job. Talk about that group.
Yeah, they did an outstanding job, really being able to control the front, then making some big plays. We had 3 interceptions down in the red zone. All three of them were in the red zone. But we really felt like we were able to control the front, which is odd because last year was the other way around. I mean, they were able to control the front against us in the championship game, and it was evident with the score last night. We were able to do really some good things defensively, made big plays when we had to, and the score, was indicative of that.
Yeah, 28-3. Third straight year, Tigers get to the championship. So you kind of, this is like maybe the revenge tour for McKeesport. You take care of business against Thomas Jefferson, the team that beat you in 2024 in the finals. And now you get the team that knocked you off in 2023, Aliquippa. They blanked Newcastle in the other semifinal game. Boy, it has been a kind of a crazy year for the Quips. I know that your focus has been on McKeesport and specifically the Greater Allegheny Conference, but they have been in dogfight after dogfight after dogfight. But it shows you the fight that they have had the success that they've had, and it was another grinded out type performance in the win against Newcastle last night. What's your early take, very early on the Quips?
Obviously, good coaching. When you see teams winning those close games,
Yep.
you see teams improving. You mentioned Thomas Jefferson, how they, looked like their old self. From the troubles they had in midseason. That goes back to good coaching. Obviously, these guys have won a lot of games. But going back to Aliquippa, I mean, they have some guys with a lot of playing times in their past. They've got about 3 or 4 guys that were from that championship team a
Right.
couple of years ago. They got some stout guys up front. They got some good speed on the back end. They got their quarterback back now. So, I mean, that makes a big difference when you're able to have, your receiver where you want him, the quarterback in positions. People don't understand it's not just insert play. There's a lot of work that goes into at a high school level where you're not able to work with every guy as much as you'd
Right.
like to. We only work on offense on Tuesdays, and then we get back to it on Thursday. So there's not a lot of time. So when you have to insert somebody else, throws a wrench into everything. So
Yeah,
great
it's a
coaching.
domino effect.
Yeah, yeah. Now instead of you being bad at one position, you're bad at two or
Right.
three. And so like I said, it's a lot of coaching to keep everybody together. But then, they got some great talent down there. They always have. They always have some good sized kids, and they're fast, they're physical, and that usually works in football.
And that describes your team. I think there's a lot in common. These teams like to get the job done on the ground, but now with Marquise Council Jr. back at quarterback and Khalil Good now goes off to wide receiver, much like you guys. In the past, if you had to throw, but now with Matt the way he's playing, and now with Marquise back at Aliquippa, again, I think both teams desire to have success on the ground, but if they have to, they can do it through the air as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's made the difference for us this year, being able to, be a little bit more diverse. And I'm sure the same thing with
Right.
Aliquippa. When watching a couple of their films earlier from the season, that you could tell, they want to run the football, but you don't have anybody that's threatening you. It's hard when they put 9, 10 guys up in the box to kind of move the football. So, I've filled their pain. We've gone through it ourselves. But for them to make it to the championship again, it's pretty impressive.
Fourth championship appearance in your 10 years as head coach of McKeesport. Do you still occasionally wake up in a cold sweat from a good sleep, thinking about that 2016 championship game that somehow, some way went the way of the Indians instead of the Tigers?
Honestly, no. If something comes up about it, it's amazing how many people will bring that game up to me. But yeah, I mean, I'm too busy worried about, what I'm going to do today compared to, living in the past. I told you, I have to figure out where I'm taking my wife to dinner tonight. That's the only thing that's on my mind right now. And then I'll start worrying about football again after
Uh,
that.
that's so, I mean, we're kind of getting a chuckle out of it, but that's such a great answer because I think a lot of people struggle with that just in life in general of getting past things that didn't go their way. I mean, I remember watching it at up in what was then Heinz Field up in the press box, and just I didn't really know you then, but man, my heart broke for you just the way that whole thing played out. The overtime loss to West Allegheny, but that's great. I'm the healthy of attitude of living for the now is it's gonna. But all that being said, 0 for 3, you got to get that championship, Matt.
Well, you know what? I've always kind of told myself if I ever do think about it, how nice the first one will feel. If I got one my first year, then you kind of take it for
Right,
granted.
right.
So that's what I'm at least telling myself. I'm easy to trick.
Plus, plus, what a better way to celebrate 20th anniversary of the 2005 championship, right?
That's right. I had my 2005 T-shirt on last night underneath my coat. So a couple of the kids saw it. We did all of our colors this year for our T-shirts and stuff. They were all the same as the '05 year. Kind of paying homage to those guys, and we brought them back for our homecoming game, and those guys were all in the end zone. So it was good to see everybody, and kind of reminisce a little bit.
Sure. So we can expect that shirt to be underneath at noon next Saturday, right?
No, no, I'm on a weird thing this year. I'm wearing something different every game, so which is I'm glad there's only 4 more possible games left. I'm running out of outfits, so
All right. So one superstition trumps the another one, right? Most
yeah,
people
I'm
would
an
be
old.
like,
I told
"Hey,
you I'm
we
an
won
old
in this
baseball
shirt.
guy.
I'm wearing it again."
I'm an old baseball guy, so whatever I'm very superstitious about stuff. So I wore the same outfit for years, and now I've been wearing something different on top every game. So
All right. Don't step on the sideline at Pine Ridgeland.
that's right. I'm
Hop,
jumping over all of
hop over it and
them.
twist
That's
an
right.
ankle. There you
Yeah.
go. Um, Good luck with dinner tonight. Hopefully everything goes well. Congratulations, in all seriousness, on another wonderful season. It's nice to have the Jimmies and Joes, but you just don't roll out the football and expect them to get the job done. You and your staff deserve a big time tip of the cap. Best of luck Saturday against Aliquippa.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Matt Miller, head coach of the McKeesport Tigers, our WPIAL Week 11 Team of the Week. We thank him for joining us. We thank our producer, Chris Lackner. I'm Don Rebel. Thank you for tuning in to the Rebel Yell podcast on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.